Hello and welcome to another video by yours truly. If you hadn't seen this face before, I am Unknown Emperor and you have entered into the realm of the Unknown Empire. The easy way to join is to hit that follow button, hit that like button, and if you're not new, I appreciate you for stopping by. I'm back with another top 10 video. I've already went through the trifecta of Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney Channel. So I asked my Unknown Empire, what's another top 10 you'd like to see me do? One of my subscribers commented PBS Kids, and they really got me thinking because PBS Kids really was a staple of my childhood, and I'm assuming it's a staple of a lot of other people's childhoods. So I had to really sit down, really go through all the shows that PBS has had to offer, because PBS Kids has been around since the 60s, 70s, early, because the earliest record of a show is Sesame Street, and that show has been along for 55 seasons. But they have produced so many great before school, after school specials that I have had the privilege of condensing it down into a top 10 list and then presenting it to you today. So I appreciate y'all for stopping by. Like, share, subscribe. Y'all feel free to comment what your top 10 PBS Kids are. Do you still watch the shows on that network today? And if you do, even as an adult, there's nothing wrong with it. What's your favorite show? But without further ado, let's get into this top 10. Stepping in to number 10 was someone who really inspired me to really start dressing on everybody, because as soon as he walked into the picture, he had a fresh cardigan on, he had a nice little tie, he put his nice loafers on, and he was heavy stepping to talk to everybody, to read to the kids, and to explain to the adults a nice way to interact with your kids. It's your friendly neighborhood Mr. Rogers. He gave us so much, just talking to us, reading to us with the puppets. He was spanning for 31 seasons. He was on for 31 seasons from 1968 to 2001. RIP him, because he did pass away. It's been a while since he's passed away, but I do still have to send the condolences, because he is missed every day that he is not on this earth. His legacy will live on through the puppets. I remember the train coming in, me being happy to sit down and really just dive into a Mr. Rogers Neighborhood episode. I think I can go back now and still learn something as an adult as I was learning as a kid. And then as a kid, it was really just nice to just sit down, vibe out. He didn't really yell. He didn't really go through anything as far as that would make a kid not really interact with it. His tone was nice, mellow. The character work throughout the puppets and the way he interacted with them was spot on and spotless. I would advise your kids, to sit down, you watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood with your kids today, because it still have life lessons that is going on in today's society. For the respect and everything, we had to put him in on this list. He comes in at number 10. From one grown man that shaped my childhood to another grown man that shaped my childhood, which brings in Mr. LeVar Burton. And if you don't recognize that name, I'm sure you'll recognize his show, because he was the host of an amazing show called Reading Rainbow. And in Reading Rainbow, it spanned from 1983 to 2006, from 21 seasons. And Mr. Burton was another grace onto the kids, because what he did was, you heard the title, Reading Rainbow. He gave another insight on reading. He also took kids and also celebrities at the time to different venues, really talked to them, set them down, gave a history lesson on everything. He was another monotone adult, really embracing with the kids. The opening, Reading Rainbow, like that really stuck with me throughout my life. And whenever I think about my childhood, again to number 10, Mr. Rogers, Mr. Reading Rainbow, LeVar Burton, Those two play an amazing part in the core memory for me. So obviously they're going to be in my top 10. And this is another one that you can, if you have kids, you can go back, watch with your kids. It stands the test of time. It teaches life's lessons in a way that he's accurately depicting a healthy relationship between adults and children, where it takes understanding, where it takes comprehension, where it takes a way to explain. And he don't get mad, he don't get angry. He sits down, he's explaining it to him, and he makes reading so much. I think that's why I read at a high school level in elementary school. They were like, "Oh, you read at a high school level?" Yeah, cause I watched Reading Rainbow growing up. But then that comes in at number 9. Swinging into number 8 is Me and You and Zaboo. Come along and see what's new. We're doing things that the animals do. Along with Chris and Martin Kratt, the Kratt brothers, along with the flying, swinging lemurs of Boomafoo. This comes in at number 8. It has spanned it for only 2 years, only 2 seasons, but you see the excitement that comes over when you just think about it. The energy and love that these two brothers made you feel for the animals, the everyday adventures. And again, Zaboomafoo, the show, the animal that the show was named after, was a great piece. I think that's why I like King Julian so much, the fascination with lemurs, because he was a staple. I went from 2 men to an animal shaping my childhood. So you already know how you feeling. But this one wasn't like one of the ones, because like I said, it only spanned for 2 seasons. But within those 2 seasons, the 3 of them, Chris, Martin, and Zaboomafoo, captured our hearts. And I'm really into nature. Like, I like animals as far as watching them, not getting up close and personal, as far as watching them on the TV, like National Geographics and stuff like that. But it was a nice little pastime. I don't know if this one holds up. I hadn't went back and watched it or anything like that. I wouldn't even know where you can watch it at. But it does come in at number 8. And I don't want you, when it comes to the bottom, I don't want you to be like, why you put Zaboomafoo over those 2. Those 3 were in a catalog all to themselves, just based off of the place that they held in my childhood. So all 3 of them are really at the same level. If you really want to say tied for 8, I didn't put, but number 8. Coming in at number 7 is Peep and the Big Wide World, spanning from 2004 to 2011, 5 seasons. It follows Chirp, Peep, and Quack the Duck, as they are one of the first trios that I was introduced to in the cartoon settings that went through their daily life and really was on these people's neck. This was one of the first 3-man squadron as a cartoon that was early 2004. Yes, you had shows, but this was a nice PBS Kids show. Followed 3 birds as they went through their bird life. And I actually go back as an adult and watch this show. And that's more or less why I put this so high as I did, because I go back and watch it, as I'm going to sleep sometimes, just put it on. But I enjoyed it. I can go back and watch it. So that means, whenever I have kids, they can watch it. This is a PBS show that really stood the test, really let it happen. If you didn't watch it, go watch it. And if you have watched it, maybe I just reminded you of a nice little core memory. Coming in at number 6 is our great technical computer escape, and that is Cyberchase. It debuted in 2002 and it spans till today. It has 15 seasons strong. It follows Matt, Jackie, Inez, and Digit as they try to fight the hacker in everyday, I guess, shenanigans. And this one, oh my goodness, coming home to watch Cyberchase after school, while some homework, or when or them times where you didn't go to school, you were able to stay home and you just put on some Cyberchase with some cereal. And then the fact that it still shows today just shows the longevity of the show and why it is still talked about amongst people in my generation. I'm sure if I hadn't watched it in years, but I'm sure if I were to turn on a today's episode, I could just dive into it. I'm sure I'd hate the graphics. I'm sure it's some CGI over 3Di's, like 3D realized, type graphics. But other than that, I'm sure I would still be able to appreciate the plot, the characters, and it'd still be telling the same wholehearted story about growth, and I'm sure it's adapted to the times. But Cyberchase is amazing. It's great. Now we start to get to the nitty gritty. We start to see what's gonna fight and claw its way to be number one on this list. Sadly, this one did not make the cut, obviously, because it's coming in at number 5, and it is our favorite aardvark author. It debuted in 1996, spanning to 2022 for 25 seasons. Author Buster, his rabbit friend, his little sister DW, and the rest of the gang went through adventures at school, at home. It went for 25 years because it grew and adapted with the world and started telling real life stories. It even got to the point where it added an extra character and it gave us a meme that we are still using to this day. And it's a 101. Everybody has seen Author or know a character from Author, and if you haven't seen it, you're a part of the minority, in my opinion. Because I think it's just one of those ones that was in every household. But even with 25 seasons, even with close to over 20 years of work, it didn't make it up to number 4, 3, 2, or 1. Coming in at number 4, just outside of the top 3, is our favorite make-believe land. Everybody wanted to wish on a little star. Everybody wanted to rub on a little, a shell orb per dragon orb and transport us to another world with our dragons friend, like Emmy and Max did in this amazing cartoon with an amazing theme song, Dragon Tales. Dragon Tales came out in 1999 to 2005. It only spanned for 3 seasons, but it was on and off. But for theme song alone, it gets it in the top 5. Theme song alone makes it top 5. And the fact that it was one of the ones that it took you to a make-believe world. It really got your imaginatory gland really expanded. Like it really, man, Dragon Tales, that's not one of the ones that you can go back and watch as an adult. Because I feel like it's a little bit too childish, but it's made for the purpose of PBS Kids. Like it was for the kids. And it was one that really expanded my imagination because it really got to thinking like, what if I transport to another world? Like, what if they're not dragons? What if they're something else? Like, what if I can fly on a dragon? This, that, and the third. Me and my brothers do this, that. And it really is a core memory for a lot of people just off theme song alone. I think they can do a reboot of that. Vamp it up, add a little beat, put me on as a character, and we can go from there. But Dragon Tales at number 4 doesn't crack the top 3. Just cracking the top 3 of top 10 PBS Kids shows is Between the Lions, between the covers of the book. It's time to look between the lions. Yes. Between the Lions from 1999 to 2011, spanning for 10 amazing seasons. We get to follow this amazing lion family, mom, dad, brother, sister, as they go through, they're running their library, if I remember correctly, because Between the Lions book, it was another book-oriented show to where you read the books and then they took you to like the scenario of what it was. And then they had like these nice little games and stuff. Like like they had cliffhanger hanging from a cliff, and you would have to basically work on your vocabulary, finish the sentence, and then he couldn't hold on. That was basically the running gag. And then you had the blind mice going around with and then the music, and then the hand dancing. Oh my goodness, this show was so great. I sing between, man, I at least say Can't Hold On much longer, but at least once a week. At least once a week. This show is great. I know I sound like a broken record with this, but a lot of these shows are ancient to me. So I say stand the test of time because I can sit down and think about it and then get that nostalgia feel and just want to go back and watch it. And I know these are the shows that I would want my kids to watch growing up. A show like this, it helped with the vocabulary, helped with understanding your emotions, helped with family dynamics, because sometimes the brother and sister would get mad at each other, mom and dad, this, that, and the third, and they really came together by the end of the episode through learning, through vocabulary, through word structure, through song, through whatever it was, whatever method. I really make me go back and watch a couple episodes of it now. But with all that, it did not help it get to the top 2. Flying in at number 2, Come Take a Ride with Me and Miss Frizzle on the Magic School Bus. And it came on 1994 to 1997. It only spanned for 2 seasons, but the lessons, the adventures, the memories, the bus going into the bodies, Miss Frizzle, the iguana that they had, the kids, the diversity of the kids that made it to where all of them were their own individual personality, and then Miss Frizzle being the wonderful ball of energy, Mother Teresa figure that she was. With this, really just drove the show together. And like I said, on a bus in 1994, I wasn't even born, wasn't even thought of in 1994. And you're telling me that this lady took the bus, made it microscopic, put it in kids to go fix their sickness. They used to go into space. They used to dig holes. There used to be some weird little scenes in there, but it was educational. It was great. And like I said, the personality that she had really just captured you, really enticed you, and really, it made you feel like the show had more than 2 seasons. When I was doing my research for the video, I was like, it only had 2 seasons. It was like classes on this. Like they dedicated classes to just watching Magic School Bus, or like clubs, I guess. And it would like be a while. So I'm assuming they really stretched this out. I need to see how many episodes was in each season. That'll probably tell me a little something. But even with all that transformation, all Miss Frizzle personality, it did not land it at number 1. But I'm assuming we all know what number 1 gonna be. Coming in at number 1 should honestly not come to a surprise to anybody. If you've watched PBS growing up, you know what the number 1 show is in PBS history. Everybody done walked on that street before. Everybody done wanted to go. Everybody done played a monster from that show or done acted. And we all know it's Sesame Street. It's Sesame Street. Came out in 1969, still shows to this day. 55 seasons. Elmo, Cookie Monster, Oscar the Grouch, Count, Big Bird. You got Rocco. There's a couple of people, like live action people, that have passed away over time that we have grown up with. That and oh my goodness, there is no way that any show on PBS was going to top Sesame Street, and I would not respect any list. Now I'm playing, because everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But for me, Sesame Street is the end-all be-all for PBS Kids. It is the epitome of what PBS Kids is meant to be. You see, that is the longest reigning show on PBS, 1969, and it still come out to this day. It adapts and grows with the real world on the outside. It's Sesame Street. everybody done talked as Elmo. Everybody had an Elmo doll. Everybody done talked like a count. 1, a 2, a 3. Like the counting, like counting words, emotion, like it dealt with because it dealt with real world events too. It had the characters and then it had the real life people. It had the real world events and then it had the characters in there. Snuffleupagus, when they went through his backstory and his family, Tully. Oh my God. And then the movies, the memorabilia, like Elmo for PBS Kids is like Mickey for Disney, SpongeBob for Nickelodeon. It's that face. When you think of PBS Kids, Elmo, Sesame Street. That is the best PBS Kids show ever. And it's not gonna be close. If I do another list like this 10 years from now, still gonna be Sesame Street. Nothing's gonna topple this show in PBS Kids history. But y'all are more than welcome to leave a list down below of your top 10 PBS Kids shows. Let me know in the comments what other top 10 lists you would like to see from me. I will do my best to make it happen. Until next time, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you when I see you.